Hey folks, and welcome back to Timeless. If you've been playing Timeless for a while, this deck might look quite familiar. Today, I've decided to try and rebuild the old classic mono black devotion deck, where we play the busted card Necropotence, but we go for a devotion package and we try to get some wins with Grey Merchant of Asphodel. This is a sweet deck, and I haven't personally tried it since the new cards from MH3 came through, and one of the big things that this deck gets is extra copies of Necropotence. So we're going to have more busted opening hands, we're going to have more keepable 7 card hands, and we're going to have 6 copies. I was thinking about even doing 7 or 8 copies of our busted card draw spell. Now, this isn't just a busted card draw spell in this deck. This is 3 points of devotion for Nykthos. And this deck can do some silly things when you get a silly amount of mana. Just to go over every card in the deck really quick before we get too deep into it, this is, of course, a Dark Ritual deck propped up by Thoughtseize. We have the classic removal spell for the genre, which is March of Wretched Sorrow. This card is a way to turn your extra card advantage from the Necropotence back into life so that you can keep drawing cards and getting through your deck. A new card that I'm trying out here that I don't remember seeing people playing in this deck before is Hopeless Nightmare. When we played Burn and we did that new player deck, a little bit of a tutorial, we played this card in Burn, and I was actually like really impressed by it. And I'm thinking, hey, can we shove it in this deck? It's a way to slow down our opponent's game plan while also giving us a devotion pip. Sure, let's try it. It might be a card we sideboard out pretty frequently, but I'm down to try it. 1 copy of Demonic Tutor is, of course, customary. We have 4 copies of Orcish Bowmasters because this is a very good threat. I originally didn't have the Bowmasters, and then we were very light on actual win cons and creatures that would impact the board. So our Bowmaster is here. 2 copies of Tithing Blade, which is a sweet, somewhat new card from Ixalan. This is very similar to another card that used to be on Arena, the Trials from the old Amonkhet set. But this is cool because it doesn't target an opponent like that card. So it gets around hexproof effects and some ways that it might be countered. And of course, we have 6 copies of our very, very powerful engine card, which is insane when paired with March. We have 2 copies of Shieldred as a beat stick, and Shieldred is also absolutely busted in half with Necro Dominance. We have 4 copies of Leyline of the Void main deck, and this is primarily for our Devotion package. This can be sideboarded out if it's totally not needed, and we need extra sideboard cards, but it is absolutely sweet to have a main deck Leyline of the Void in a reanimate format. And of course, we have 4 copies of Gary. This is the primary win condition in the deck. This is also one of the ways that we can gain life. This guy is very often hitting for 10 damage per cast. He comes with 2 pips himself. We could have a Leyline in play, a Necro in play, some Hopeless Nightmares, some other random dirty cards. You can count to 10 Devotion pips like very, very quickly in this deck, and he's going to be the main way that we close out of games, sometimes out of nowhere. As for the mana base, I chose not to do a fetch mana base because our life total is so important. In decks similar to this in the past, I have done like a fetch land mana base with Deathrite Shaman, but I decided to neglect that for life total considerations. Instead, we will just play 8 swamps and be a little safe against Blood Moon. 2 copies of Takenuma and 2 copies of Hive of the Eye Tyrant as our mono black utility lands. And the important part, we have 4 Sunken Citadels and 4 Nykthos. Sunken Citadel is sweet because its main utility is being able to activate Nykthos just by tapping itself. Nykthos, of course, taking 2 mana to activate. So if we have a Sunken Citadel and Nykthos in play, we are already generating mana with as little as 3 Devotion pips, which is what our Necropotence gives us, which is absolutely awesome. We, of course, also have 1 copy of Fel the Profane in the deck, just acting as an MDFC, an extra mana source. I was thinking about even going up on copies of the MDFCs because what's really sweet about them is that they pitch to March of Wretched Sorrow. So I was thinking, maybe I should have more copies of this, and I decided against it just because I didn't want to be paying life on the reverse side of it too often. But it's an interesting trade-off. I'm curious if anybody who's watching this video has tried it with the extra MDFCs. If it isn't a good idea, I would be totally down to think about it a little bit more. Now the sideboard. This is the spicy tech here. I recorded the sideboard tier list this morning, or most of it this morning. Spent hours on it. This is the spicy tech that's not on the tier list. This is top secret stuff. You do not tell anybody I'm running these cards. First, we have Font of Agonies. Whenever I pay life to my Necropotence, put counter on it. Take 4 counters off of it, kill a creature. Fantastic sideboard tech. I don't know how actually good it is. Like, I gotta play with it. It's freaking spicy. But this is the new one now that we got Boros in the metagame. This is the tech. This as a devotion pip, it gains his life, it buys us some time. I think that this is actually good tech. And we should be playing this over like Path of Peril. Don't at me. This might be terrible, by the way. But I do want to see. I think jamming 4 copies of Trespasser's Curse in our devotion deck is not the craziest thing ever. And then we have Meat Hook as our board wipe, just for those 2 devotion pips, and also for the passive. So between this and Trespasser's Curse, hopefully we just end up gaining a shit ton of life and drawing a shit ton of cards. That's the plan, at least. Last 8 sideboard slots are for the unfair deck, so we got 4 Duress and 4 Vexing Bauble to try to keep those things in check. We're main decking 4 Landline of the Void, so we're not packing any additional graveyard hate. Duress is also good against Control Andy, so we can take out some of our creature removal and put the Duresses in if we are against a very hard control deck. I think that's it for me. This is just like old school mono blacklist. We used to see this like this all the time. If you look back 6 months ago, and I gotta give it another shot now that we got Necro Dominance. All right. Game 1, we were going to be on the play against Azure Orange. Let's see. We have a Necropotence. I mean, it's a Dark Ritual Necropotence hand, so I don't think we're allowed to say no to it. Good old turn 1 on the play, dumping our good cards. We're going to get 2 extra devotion pips into play too, so that if a Nykthos does decide to show up, then we are going to the moon. All right. And then here, let's go ahead and draw a few cards. So it's always a thought, do you want to draw to exactly 7 or do you want to draw to more than 7? I think since we have multiple lands in hand, let's go ahead and draw to 8 for this turn. We're going to discard a land, and then next turn, based on what we draw, we can decide exactly how many more cards we want to draw and what we want to discard. It's a little tough when you're game 1 in the blind against an opponent. I've never ran into this person on Timeless Ladder before, so it's hard to say what they're playing. Get rid of a basic here. And then next turn, I mean, we'll remove a creature if they put one into play, but otherwise we might just Bowmasters and draw a crap ton of cards. All right? And that will be the Ruckus. So they're probably a fair deck. What you got there? A Bauble. Cool. All right, so let's think about this. Do we want to just Bowmasters this turn? If we Bowmasters this turn, what are we going to be doing next turn? Next turn, we could play the Necro Dominance, but there's not too much reason to play that when we also have the Potence into play, and we don't have a Nykthos. I think playing a Bowmasters is a pretty good thing, and I'm looking forward to doing it. So I am going to be happy to do that. Just the question is, do I want to overdraw with my Necro here? I'm definitely drawing 1 to go to 7, and I think I'm pretty comfy drawing 2. This isn't a super combo-y Necro deck. Obviously, we're trying to win with Grey Merchant, but against this Rakdos deck, I think we could take our time doing that, and we don't need to overdraw that much. If I knew I was against a combo deck, I would be racing right now, and I would probably draw 10 cards, but against Rakdos, I think we can take our time. Okay. Still not sure exactly what they're on. We're just going to flash in our Bowmasters like a good citizen. I mean, are we really the good guys if we're playing Bowmasters? Okay. Looks like you're... Ooh, you're Creeper Thrall. Okay, interesting. Alright, so we don't get the Bowmasters then. So question, do we want to just march right now and gain a shit ton of life and then draw a bunch more cards to hit their Doorkeeper Thrall? I think that's a pretty good idea because they might like curve out into a Fleege or something. And then next turn we could just slam a Shieldred. Shieldred plus Necrodom is really, really sweet. So, like maybe you could even play Necrodom. I think we would rather play Shieldred first and make sure it resolves. So let's play a Sunken Citadel here. I'm debating on whether or not I should pitch Necrodom to March of Wretched Sorrow, because if we get to play both of these, it is amazing. But honestly, I think that's just being a little win more. So let's go ahead and do X equals 5. We can get rid of the redundant Shieldred. We can hit this, we can gain 5 life, draw 5 cards. Go ahead and hit you with Bowmasters. Then hopefully a cool card like Nykthos shows up. Let's go ahead and draw 6 here. I like drawing just 1 or 2 extra when we're playing against other fair decks. Just that we do get a little bit of hand selection, but we don't hurt our life total too much. Cool. That's devotion pips, more life gain. There's a Gary. I would love my actual devotion payoff to show up pretty soon. Extra copy of Necro doesn't do anything if you don't have devotion cards in play. I'd love my Nykthos right about now. I think next turn we might slam a Shield. It depends on what they do. That is a DRC that will never go anywhere. Alright, do I care about that card? I might just want to play Shieldred and pass the turn, and then next turn we'll have Gary mana. So we can do a big Gary, draw a bunch of cards, hopefully find another Gary, and then just win the game off of Gary number 2. I don't even think... Actually, I probably could attack. I think I'm fine trading these. Our opponent might get marginal value off of those surveils, and it might help them out. And then here, I don't think I want to overdraw by too much. I think we'll just overdraw by 1 again. We do have life gain, so we don't have to be too careful with our life total. So much life gain in our hand. Yeah, this is like the best matchup for the black decks. Like a really slow fair deck. Like they're just a Mardu Flage deck. They're trying to put like their stupid elemental into play and kill creatures fairly, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and activate my Necropotence 100 times, and you can't do anything. Okay. That is a nice Nykthos to see. That is a lot of mana available for me. And what a little baby. He's so cute. He's so small. Look at him. He's a baby. Oh my god, he's a child. Oh, it's funny. Alright, so we're going to play this. It's free because of the devotion pip here. And then what we could do is we can add a bunch of mana. Play our boy Gary. And in fact, our opponent's at 1. We can activate the Hive of the Eye Tyrant for lethal. Nice. That was a good game 1. Alright, main deck Leyline, it did some work there. So, okay. So they're gonna like Doorkeeper Thrall Flage nonsense here. That's the plan, at least. I like it. So what do we want against that? Do we want those Trespasser Curses? I think Meathook Massacre is going to be very tough because Flage is a 6/6. We're not going to get that big of a minus. I think the Thought Seizes are sus when you're against creatures, so we could bring in the Fonts and some of the Trespassers Curses. That seems pretty decent. I don't think they would be playing Scam Elementals and the Thrall in the same deck, so I don't think we need the Vexing Bauble. It does technically counter their baubles, but I don't care about the 0-drop bauble. I think this is a pretty good way to just run it back. Alright, ooh. No mana here, sadly. Dude, Necro Dark Ritual and you can't keep it. It's so sad. Alright, here we have a hand. Is it a great hand? Maybe not, but I'm going to keep it because we have the spicy sideboard card. And then we also have Dark Ritual to enable some nonsense here. All that we need to do is draw one of our many nonsense cards in the deck. So I maybe could have mulliganed all the way down to 5 to try to find a Necropotence or Necrodominance specifically. Or just tried to find one of my main deck Leylines. Yep, they're playing Kroxa and Flage. Interesting. Alright, yep, look at my top. That's fine. They get the tech. They get to see the tech. Oh, it's so spicy. Can they handle it? I think we're just going to go turn 1 Font, turn 2 Curse, and then probably Dark Ritual like Area on turn 3 if we don't draw anything better. And hopefully that slows the game down enough for us to eventually draw a Necro and win. I think I might have made a mulliganing error this game. I think I maybe am supposed to try to mulligan to Necro here. Not sure. That's why I was also thinking about playing 7 or 8 copies. Like playing the extra copies of Necro Dominance even though it's legendary. It's just so important to have access to it in every single game. Right, that's a 3/4 Baby Goyf. Baby Goyf is growing up. Another Trespasser's Curse. Right. Good Dark Ritual fell to profane the Goyf, but let's go ahead and get a curse down. Enchant you. Unfortunately, this card's a little slow when you're on the draw, I'm realizing now. I'm curious how this actually plays against energy. I haven't gotten a chance to try it yet. They're getting pretty close to a fair Croxa, which is concerning me. Oh, and a fair Flage. Okay. Yeah, they can just escape those cards very soon. They just need another fetch land to show up. You're gonna rip apart my font? It's so rude. So unfortunately, it looks like we're definitely getting a Croxa or a Flage in our face very soon. And ooh, that's so much damage, man. That's not good. Ooh, double Dark Ritual. So we can double Dark Ritual Gary, but then what? We play Trespasser's Curse, bolt ourselves, double Dark Ritual Gary. Is that enough HP for us to live? Not really. I could Dark Ritual Fell the Profane on the Netherglyph, but then we're still dying, in my opinion. I think we'll say our opponent has this one with the aggro 1-drop hand. Alright, now that we know their creature speed a little bit better, what do we want? Do we want to change anything up? Do we maybe want another Trespasser's Curse over a Hopeless Nightmare? This was a little too slow on the draw, but I think on the play it's going to be a little bit better. Go ahead and try it. I mean, I do want to evaluate the card and see how good it is. Perhaps I overcooked this a little bit. Alright, what we got here? Oh no, non-functional mana again. That's so tough. We're gonna have to mulligan this one. We do get a Leyline of the Void, but unfortunately it looks like more non-functional mana. And we also don't have, like, either our Dark Ritual or a Necro, so I think we go again. There's a Necro. We're gonna keep it. Keep 5. The question is, do we keep the Nykthos or not? I think I'll say no, just to guarantee that I do get to Necro eventually. And then here, if they start with like a Dragon's Rage Channeler or a Ragavan, I could just pay 2 mana to march it for 1, which is very nice. And we draw the Nykthos anyway, which is fantastic. Alright. And then we can get Necro Dominating soon. Now, I am afraid of the card Orcish Bowmasters. So I'm very tempted to, like, not draw many cards right now. Very afraid of Orcish Bowmasters. We'll see if they, like, surveil or something, letting me know that they don't have it. Oh, yeah, they got it. Oh, Doorkeeper's Brawl? Okay, sweet. Yeah, no, I'm going to overdraw now. How hard do we want to overdraw? Unfortunately, we don't have mana up to pay for March, so I don't think we overdraw right now. I think next turn we overdraw. Go ahead and do that. Oh, okay, those are junk cards, but we can pitch them to March and we can gain a shit ton of life. I really do like the play patterns of Necro Dominance and how you, like, draw on your end step. I think it is sweet. It's at least a bit more... it's a bit less of bad UI. Necropotence can get a little annoying with the clicking on Arena. So Nykthos right now is mana neutral, but if we play anything else, it starts becoming mana positive. Of course, we're not drawing any more cards. No! I needed that! Oh, it's bad. Oh, it's bad. Okay, we can hardcast a Leyline of the Void. I think we're out here, boys. We're gonna hardcast Leyline of the Void. Oh, you know, Rip Apart's not a card in the sideboard tier list. Someone deplatform this man. He does not deserve his platform. D tier. It's close. Whatever tier I put a Braid in, it's probably the same thing. Same as that. Maybe a tier lower for being a sorcery. Okay, there's a big Flage. That thing might kill me, but thankfully I have a lot of mana and these ley lines being chilling in my hand. So I think we're just going to kill the Flage. We're going to deal 6 to it. Ooh, Gary, my boy. Do I want to play him? Yet. I think this turn I am most interested in dealing 6. So right here, we could do 6 by just pitching one of these ley lines of the Void. Do I have a way to, like, play ley lines and activate Nykthos and get even more mana? The answer is no. Yeah, let's go ahead and pay 6 here. Honestly, we could pay 8. We're not going to use these extra ley lines for anything. Let's gain a lot of life here. And hopefully our opponent doesn't have too much else going on. We're at 24 either way, so we have a while to draw out of this. And with our Gary, we're going to go to 28. Uh-oh. Here's Croxa. Alright. Trespasser's Curse and a Gary. Ooh, I don't think I could play both, right? Right now, that's not mana positive. Yeah, so unfortunately, we can only play the Gary here. I will go ahead and play out Gary. I think he's more valuable. Oh, right, the ETB! I got Doorkeepered! How's this deck supposed to win? Oh, my door got kept. That's not good. That's not good at all, boys. My door is going to be kept here. It's okay. We can find more removal spells for the Doorkeeper. A Hopeless Nightmare, that is 1 point of devotion acquired. And we can also sacrifice it to Scry 2, which will be very, like, clutch. It's going to be very, very clutch here. Our opponent decided to get rid of a Topor Orb. Sure. Right. I will not be attacking with Gary. On our end step, we're going to get to crack our Hopeless Nightmare. So we have like 3 draws to find a card that can get us out of this situation. There's a few. There's a few cards out there that can help. There are certainly a few. There's also some that don't help. Go ahead and crack this Hopeless Nightmare. No, not with a Topor Orb in play. Without the Topor Orb, that would have been a okay draw. I would have probably kept it on top. Dang. Alright, we got owned by the Doorkeeper Thrall. The doors were successfully kept. Alright, game 2, we are going to be on the draw against MTG Jancel, and would you look at that. Wow, what a great hand. Dark Ritual into Necro, and we got Sunken Citadel Nykthos for following turns. That's dope. Let's do it. Unfortunately, we are going second here, so if our opponent is playing too unfair, then we've already lost, but not too much we could do about that. Hey, looks like energy. Good old Aether Hub first land, spend the energy already. Go ahead and play a Necro. I don't think I want to overdraw too much here, though. I think I might just draw 2. Go to exactly 7. And then I think I'll keep drawing to exactly 7. Because I do have use for most of these cards in my hand. Yep, there's your boy Johnny. Taking a bit more energy. You got it.
I will prove my worth to my pride.
I'm so curious if Trespasser's Curse is going to be good enough here. I wonder. So let's go ahead and play this tapped, aiming black. And then we can go ahead and march down Guide of Souls or a Johnny. I'm thinking about a Johnny right now. Let's do X equals 2. We can get rid of a Thoughtseize over here and get rid of that. And now we can go ahead and draw 3 more cards. 1, 2, and 3. Next turn we can either play a big stupid Shieldred, or we can go ahead and march something. Ooh, and a Gary. Yeah, let's maybe try to play a Shieldred or even a second Necro just so that we can get our devotion going. Okay, unstable Amulet, so slow draw from our opponent. That's good for us. Okay, cool. So if I play Nykthos, I have access to 4 mana this turn. With that 4 mana, I can just slam a Shieldred. That's bad into Swords to Plowshares. What I could also do is I can play a Necropotence and then march. Playing a Necropotence and then marching actually does seem like a pretty decent idea. And then next turn we can Gary for a huge amount, but Necro doesn't do anything by itself. I think overall the best play is probably Shieldred. It might just eat a Swords to Plowshares, but this is setting us up for success most of the time, I believe. Let's see 2 more cards. Oh my god, triple Gary. Uh-oh. That's not good for our opponent. Let's see what they got. Looks like no removal spell, which is great. Right, oop, discharge. You do not have enough energy for that. Try again. You have 2? Right, yep, it looks like they got 2. Alright, that's fine. So this turn, what we could do is we can Necro and flash out a Bowmasters. I think that's pretty good. And then the turn after, we could just go Gary, 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 and really just close out the game. Go ahead and play Necro, play a Bowmasters, do the bunch of Devotion pips now, and then we can draw back up to 7. You do have to be careful of Lightning Bolt. I'm not going to put myself into Bolt range. Honestly, we're in Bolt plus Flying Guide of Souls range. Maybe I should have stayed out of that as well. I think I misplayed here. I think I should have not went this low up with my life total. I think we're way too low right now. I put myself out to lose to them having like a combination of Lightning Bolt and Flying the Guide of Souls. Yeah, I think that's a mistake from me. Or they can tap this amulet here, find a creature out of exile, fly the Guide of Souls, that also kills me. Yeah, I made a mistake. I went too low. I was supposed to just not draw cards there. Wow, yeah, we died. That's my fault. 100% my fault. Oh, never mind. They use their energy. They can't fly Guide of Souls anymore. Though I let my opponent have outs, and you shouldn't do that. You got to think about what your opponent could draw, and I've played enough energy decks to know what their outs are in this situation. Okay. So here, we're going to play a Swamp. And Gary. And then... Oh, did I have lethal if I played Nightmare first? My opponent goes to 1 here instead of 0. Maybe they'll just quit. Yeah, I could have actually played Hopeless Nightmare first, I think, and then tapped my Nykthos. It would have given me a little bit more damage. Let's not overdraw here. I mean, the game's over. Our opponent just has to do another turn. They can't hit us for 20. They can gain life, but we do just have another Gary. Yeah, that was me being a little sloppy and assuming the game was over. What I was supposed to do is I was supposed to play Hopeless Nightmare first using a Swamp. That gives me 1 more Devotion mana, which means... Oh yeah, 1 more mana off Devotion from Nykthos, which means they're technically free, but it would have made each Gary do 1 more damage. So opponent would be dead. Dead, dead, dead. But it doesn't matter here. We're chilling. Our opponent is a Giganta to hand gamer right now. I put another Gary on. Oh, you know, let's do it correctly. This also kills them, lol. This is also just 2 damage by itself. Good old Hopeless Nightmare lethal. Okay, Thought Seizes out, Meat Hook Maskers, Trespassers, Curses in. I think probably the Hopeless Nightmare is the worst card in this matchup. Just a little slow. Bowmasters, there's an argument that Bowmasters is also no good. But it does kill a lot of their creatures, so we'll keep it in. Alright, on the draw, game 2, we have a Necro. We don't have the mana to get there right away, but I think between the Marches, the Meat Hooks, I think this is enough to keep. And then I turn on Pride. So I'm thinking about just like marching it right now, which seems a little loose, but I don't want this thing snowballing. So 1, 2. We don't need extra Necros. Let's get the snowball prevention going. I could have maybe had some patience and waited an extra turn to try to do Meat Hook Massacre X equals 1 on turn 3, but I really didn't want my opponent snowballing or getting ahead, and there's no guarantee I even hit the mana. We're chilling. Hopefully we do hit the next mana so that we can play Necro or play Meat Hook on 1. Right, and that's a Fable. And that is unfortunately not mana, so we're gonna go ahead and pass. I'm wondering if I should have mulliganed again. I think it's fine. We had the march. Maybe I should have marched for a higher life total value. Maybe I should have waited to like march the Ajani. No, they would have made so many cat tokens. No. Right, here comes Flage. Anything that pressures my life total is gonna hurt. Oh, they're gonna flip Johnny. Yeah, that's also gonna hurt. People are kind of screwed with them flipping that card, to be honest.
I will have vengeance into the fray.
Yeah, third land doesn't show up. I will go ahead and scoop. The Trespasser's Curse. Perhaps that's not it. Interesting. All right, let's run it back on the play. Maybe Trespasser's Curse will do something this time. All right, game 3 on the play. Do we get a good hand? We get Nykthos Necro. Try again. Do we get a good hand? Yeah. Yes, we do. Keep 6. Put back an extra Hive. Throw that into play. Let's go Hive, Dark Ritual, Necro. I don't want to overdraw too much. I think we're only going to draw 3 here. Oh my god, a Nykthos. Oh, it's so much mana. Alright, winnable, winnable, winnable. Okay, you cannot Pithing Needle Necrodominance. Don't try to do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You can name Necropotence. My man, it does not work. I'm gonna Trespasser's Curse you. Somebody tell him it doesn't work, chat. Alright, next turn we're gonna have access to what is referred to as a shit ton of mana. And we could just start like activating Hive and attacking with it, to be honest. Oh, Trespasser's Curse is totally gonna do its thing. Oh my god, look at this. I get so much life. This is cheating. Okay. Okay. What am I supposed to do here? Supposed to, if I just want to play Bowmasters, hit the Ocelot Pride. I think I can get away with taking a turn off for Sunken Citadel this turn. The other option would be like play Swamp, activate Nykthos, and then do both of these. But if we play Tithing Blade, they're just going to lose a little 1/1. I think now, this turn, we just take out the Ocelot Pride. We play our tapped land. Black. And then let's go ahead and overdraw just a little bit here. Yeah, we can get rid of like this extra Sunken Citadel and this extra basic. And then when we have a crap ton of mana, we could just go ahead and like play Shieldred and play a Tithing Blade. How much mana are we gonna have access to? We're gonna have 7, 8, 9 mana. Crazy. If we play Tithing Blade first, we'll have 10. And we could play every card in our hand. I love this curse. I don't know if it's enough though, because look at how much stuff they have going on. It's crazy. And now if I Tithing Blade them, will Tithing Blade work, chat? Alright, hear me out. We're gonna make a Johnny... Actually, no, we don't have to make a Johnny flip. I'm changing my plan for this turn, by the way. So what we're gonna do here... Yeah, I know they were wide. Trespasser's Curse is gonna save me. So what we can do here is we can draw a lot, and I mean an obscene amount of cards with Shieldred. More cards than a young man could ever possibly comprehend. We're gonna play Shieldred. We're also gonna play... we just play the Tithing. No, we'll play Leyline, just to be mana efficient. And then on end step, we're gonna draw like 15 cards. Resolve. Whee! Go to 1. Yo, wait, I was supposed to hit a... Wow, I don't have a March. That's crazy. I was expecting to hit a March in one of these cards. That's why I kept one mana up. Resolve my triggers. Uh-oh. Resolve all ain't gonna work. Unclick, please. Whatever. Arena's little stuckies. Yeah, I don't have a March here, so... Choose cards to keep. I get to keep 5 cards. Okay, I'm keeping a Meat Hook Massacre. I'm going to keep a Shieldred. I am going to keep probably a Trespasser's Curse. I'm going to keep a Bleed and a Bowmasters as my 5. Making sure there's nothing else that's more useful. Not really. I can keep a Nykthos for an explosive amount of mana, but we already have 11 mana off the first Nykthos. I think it's fine. So we're at 31. I don't think our opponent could kill us no matter how hard they tried, especially now that we're at 35. And then next turn, we're just going to Meat Hook like X equals 4 and then drop another Shieldred. And hopefully my opponent concedes at that point. Trespasser's Curse Gaming. You gotta love it. We're not going to block a cat here. Very important we don't, because we needed Johnny to die to Meat Hook. No blocks. This is so stupid, by the way. Don't do this. Don't do this at home. Don't build decks like this. Oh, stop the nonsense. So I think I'm gonna first cast the Trespasser's Curse just to max out my mana. And then how big do I need to Meat Hook? I have 8 mana here, 9, 10. I need to Meat Hook for 6 mana, so let's just use the 10 we have. Let's go ahead and Meat Hook for 4 and then play Shieldred. That seems pretty good. I can play Shieldred first. No, the order doesn't matter. Right. Meat Hook for X equals 4. That was fun. Yeah, fun opponent. I had fun. Can I play another Shieldred? And then wait. And then we draw some cards. Oh, they're gonna scoop. I was thinking about how many cards to draw. I think the correct answer was gonna be like 20, and then I would just keep all the Grey Merchants, and then we would get a Grey Merchant win next turn. All right. Dude, we beat Energy. We did Trespasser's Curse Gaming. Is this the new secret tech? Is this the new card that beats Boros Energy? Okay. Game 3 of the video. We are on the draw against It's Your Sam. Are we keeping a Necro hand without acceleration? I think this is good enough. Especially considering that we have Leyline Nykthos so that we could accelerate that way. I think this is good enough. I will pre-game actions, drop a Leyline. How you feeling, opponent? They're wondering why I have some pre-game actions game 1. I wonder what kind of a deck you're playing. Overgrown Tomb? Oh my god, no way. No way. So I think we're playing against like Samwise combo. That is so funny. I'm just gonna play this tapped while I have the opportunity. That's so funny. Right? Like that's the only deck that plays Cauldron Familiar. And I get, okay, my Juggers are gonna get peddled, unfortunately. So we lose our Necro here and we get a Juggernaut, but like, holy crap. I just main deck Leyline to the Void to them. That's so funny. It's good stuff. Alright, yep, we're gonna lose our Necro as predicted. Okay, cool. Yep, we can go ahead and play our land. And then we can march if needed. I think I'm gonna wait on this march. No reason to do it immediately. Oh, my Juggers. I mean, I guess we're just gonna lose this Shieldred. We might also lose the removal spell. Our opponent choice. I could have, oh, you know what I could have done? I could have snapped off the march in response to this trigger on the stack and just like exiled the Shieldred. So then I get my removal spell and they don't get to pick. I'm gonna keep these Takenumas. We might get to channel them. So here, I think we might just go ahead and shoot a Juggernaut Peddler to keep our HP up, and then we're gonna be Juggernaut gaming. We could also just channel Takenuma to try and find some cards. Oh, Bartolome! Oh, what a character. Am I supposed to kill Bartolome? Mana to March Bartolome, though. I think I'm just going to shoot a Juggernaut Peddler here. This is a sweet card. This is a card that I think is super fun, but just not on Timeless Power level. If it was on Timeless Power level, I would totally put a deck with it already. Haha, another card turned off by the ley line. Alright. Have your Juggernauts back. Alright, no attacks. Dude, we're Juggernaut gaming. Holy shit. I'll go to combat. Have a Jugger. Okay, they will take 5 damage. They have been jugged. Do I want to Thought Seize them, or do I want to conserve both of these Takenumas? Because this is a tap land. I can't Juggernaut and Thought Seize them right now. If they're not playing anything, what could they possibly have? They could possibly have a Bowmasters, which they'll flash in response. Could maybe be playing a Coco in their Samwise deck, which is not something that they can quite cast yet, so I would like to take that if they do have it. It is a Bowmasters. I was right. What's that other card, though? Is it useful? It's something. Is it a Chord, maybe? You don't have enough green cards in that case. It is a Chord. Look at me. I'm so smart. Alright, have another Juggernaut. Alright, our opponent is staring down the barrel of double Juggernaut. And we have a Hive that we can activate. So we're on the beatdown, ladies and gentlemen. The question is, should I be activating my Hive? I think my opponent has to be blocking here in some capacity. So I think the answer is yes. We could also use the Hive defensively. Let's see, if they do the minimum block, right? Like they chump they chump my Juggers. And they take 3 off the Hive. Am I dying on the crackback? The answer is no, even with double Deathbright Shaman activation, because that's 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, they can sack to Bartolome to make him bigger. That's a good point. Okay, so we'll keep Hive of the Eye Tyrant defensively up for blocking, and then we're going to swing in with 2 Juggernauts. And then we will, like, chump block Bartolome with the Hive if needed. Right, my opponent will go to 2 here. Oh, they forgot to sack the Bartolome. Not activated as a sorcery, right? Nope, they should have sacked there. Opponent goes to 1 HP. What did we surveil? Just more lands? Okay. I do want to see what's in their deck. I'm assuming it's the Samwise combo, but I don't know. Aha! One of my favorites. Nice. Alright, let's see if our opponent gets attacking. If they do, we're going to block with our Hive of the Eye Tyrant. And I will go ahead and block Bartolome. Ooh, getting feisty, huh? Oh, let's go ahead and block with Bartolome. So they can't do a funny lethal where they sacrifice a bunch of things. They could sacrifice something to make sure they at least trade. Alright, what's in that birthing ritual? I'm going to have a menace attacker next turn, so you gotta have something here, opponent. Alright, they got something. Another Bowmasters. That is a... Ooh, it's a kill is what it is. Cool. That's unfortunate. Someone's dead in their draw step, aren't they? Shame. No creatures in bins. I just checked for you, opponent. Tisk tisk. Yeah, you're free to drain. You're still gonna lose. Oh, actually, no, they're not going to lose because they can block here. Oh my god, this is so close. So they can block here. They can now, in their upkeep, Deathrite Shaman. Oh no, they can't eat the creature because of Leyline of the Void. Ah, okay. Oh, we still win. I thought for a second they were going to be able to eat the Bowmasters with Deathrite Shaman, but I forgot about my own Leyline of the Void. Ah, good old Arena remembering my cards for me. Okay, this is like goddamn hilarious because like we're main decking Leyline of the Void against Sam combo, and also Trespasser's Curse completely turns off Sam combo because like the whole point of Sam combo is you're infinitely recurring the Cauldron Familiar, that's the little kitty cat, and you're infinitely draining your opponent. But like if we have Trespasser's Curse in play, it just nullifies it. It's the funniest shit ever. Okay, so what are we doing other than being funny little guys? I think we take out the Hopeless Nightmares because that's kind of non-targeted nonsense. We can put Meat Hook in as well. That's another card that they can't really combo through. We can maybe take the Bleed out because they have so many like stupid creatures they could just sack. So many stupid 1/1s. And we run it back. It's so funny like how much passive hate that we happen to have against this Sam deck. All right, game 2 against Sam. We are going to be on the draw. We don't have that main deck graveyard hate, or excuse me, like that natural hand graveyard hate. But what we do have is Dark Ritual Necro, and I would bet that like our deck can go off faster than them, especially when we have a DT in our hand. We also like DT for something fun, but I think we're gonna keep this Dark Ritual Necro hand, especially with the DT in it. That's just so good. And then we might just DT for a Meat Hook eventually. Oh my god, look at this! Oh, he's got all the good stuff. I don't think I'm going to overdraw here, actually. I think we're going to draw nice and fairly and respectfully of our opponent. Oh my god, the Meat Hook just shows up. Okay. Well. Next turn. We can just Meat Hook him down. Oh, there goes my Necro. So how many cards do we want to draw? A few, right? Definitely want to draw a few. What are we playing next turn? Like, I want to draw some cards, sure, but I don't know if we want to draw too many. Let's go ahead and draw 3 here. Goes DT for another one of these. Because we're not playing many cards next turn, we're really just going to play Sunken Citadel, I would think. Or actually, we could just DT for another one. Yeah, I think we're just going to DT for another Necro here, so... Fine, we don't need that many cards. Our Devotion went back to 0, but we're just going to get another one. Alright, so I will play this Nykthos out. DT for a Necro. If I do that, then we're not going to have triple black to cast it, I just realized. I think we're fine. I think we DT for it anyway. What we could do instead is we could play Sunken Citadel, tapped, and Thoughtseize them. I like that idea, actually. We'll DT next turn. We need to play our tap land at some point. I'll take the Birthing Ritual, because that card is obscene. And then we just need to play Meat Hook with a big enough X that Barthelemy dies to it. Okay, we can get rid of a Sunken Citadel, and honestly, probably the Shieldred is the worst card here. Or maybe another land is not useful. It's certainly useful, but we'll draw more cards by the time we need more lands. There's your boy Barthelemy. There is another Lighted Pathling. And there is a Necro Dominance. Necro Dominance is very good with Shieldred. I'm also like tempted to DT for a Ritual here. So I have a lot of options. I want to cast a fat, and I mean fat meat hook next turn. If if I am going to put a Necrodominus into play this turn, and that means these two lands together produce 3 mana for 5 mana, so we can only X equals 3 meat hook. That's not actually that fat. I was expecting fatter. We could DT for a Dark Ritual to ensure the fatness. Put a Necrodom into play. I think we're not going to draw any cards with it right away. I think we're going to throw this Necrodom into play. And we do actually have to discard a card to hand size here, which is really funny. I think we'll get rid of Gary. Or maybe... No, Shieldred is too good with Necrodom. We're going to want to keep Shieldred. Honestly, I think I might just play Shieldred next turn and draw a gazillion cards. We're going to pay 0. Firm 0. We're going to get rid of Gary because we have 2 other life gain cards in Shieldred March. And then I think next turn we play Shieldred. We keep 1 mana up for March. And we just draw a shit ton of cards. May I pay? Okay, cool. Let's pay... We can pay 8. Yeah, let's pay all 8. Whee! Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and march this Bartholomew. Go ahead and pitch some cards. Don't need an extra Necrodom over here. And then we will hit Bartholomew. Cool. And then we can discard some extra cards. We don't need extra mana, and we're not going to need this many curses. Now, if they naturally have the Samwise combo here, I think they do kill me. But they don't have it. It's good. So now we can just go ahead and meat hook the board. And it's a free win. Okay. So let's go ahead, add 2 mana really quick. For a curse. Curse you. The silliest card. It just beats their deck. It's so funny. My poor opponent. Okay, and then just X equals 4, pay all of that mana. Yeah, they're done. Holy shit. That was the funniest matchup to get on video. It's just so unfortunate. We're main decking Leyline of the Void against their graveyard combo deck, and we have Trespasser's Curse in our sideboard. Our opponent was probably wondering why. Why? Oh my god. Let's go to the deck. This actually overperformed. This performed a little bit better than I thought it would. I played a little bit yesterday and it felt okay, but not great. But honestly, like, we beat up Energy. We were competitive in that Flage game. They did beat us, even though I thought it was a good matchup. Maybe they are a little better than us. But we actually beat Energy. Trespasser's Curse was fine against Energy as long as we are not on the draw. Boros is the classic deck that just wins whenever it's on the play. Perhaps I should be playing a few better sweepers. Maybe some Path of Perils will help with that matchup. I was hoping I could go with no sweepers in other than Meathook Massacre and just rely on Trespasser's Curse and Font of Agonies. Font of Agonies, we didn't get to play it, but our opponent thought seized it, so I will count that as a win for the card. But overall, I think this is sick. Like, this is definitely at least worth revisiting and at least worth getting people trying on this version of Mono Black. I'm curious if maybe you want all 8 copies of this Necro effect here. Necro Dominance plus Shieldred also just seems so strong that I don't know if it beats Necropotence as the plan A, but like maybe you should just play 4 and 4 instead of playing these main deck ley lines of the void. Maybe you should really play 4 and 4 because like every time that we had these 2 cards in play together, we just said, okay, go to my end step, draw my life total in cards, and just pitch everything away to a march, and then we just get gained like 50 life. It was ridiculous. So I really think the interaction between these 2 cards is very underrated right now. Yes, it's a 3 mana card and a 4 mana card, and yes, Timeless is a very fast format. You can't get away with that a lot of the time. But hey, we got away with it today, and I think there is something here. And Any other thoughts on cards? Hopeless Nightmare is kind of just there, but it's a devotion pip. Maybe this card doesn't make the cut. Same with Tithing Blade. Like a lot of decks that creature sack should be good against. Like you would want this to be good against energy. They just sack a cat token and it flips their Ajani, and then you feel sad. So maybe this card is not the technology, and maybe we can just play more Necrodominances and Shieldreds, and we can go even more all in on our BS plan. Yeah, I think that's all that I have in terms of thoughts on the deck. I'm curious if anybody else has thoughts, if anybody else has been queuing it up with this deck. Let me know. Let me know any suggestions that you have for the deck, because this is really fun and I'd be interested in playing this again.